I'm Will Cain, and tonight, as they say, the rats are jumping off the ship. The lights have come on, and the roaches are scattering. Tonight, the lunatic fringe that somehow has taken over the mainstream left is running from critical race theory. You see, for weeks, CNN has ignored this. For weeks now, MSNBC implies this is fake. Now, the New York Times would have you believe this man has been duped by a partisan, astroturfed, ginned-up boogeyman, and that his concern isn't real.
I don't have to be nice to you. Nobody behind me has to be nice to you. If you don't like living in the United States of America, then you can all move to Russia, Cuba, or China. This is the First Amendment.
But that is very real, because parents are the tip of the spear, the frontline warriors in this cultural revolution. They have seen little Timmy bring home the book, How to Be an Anti-Racist Baby, confess his whiteness to mom, and told his dad that America and he are white supremacists. And parents have had it, Jack. The lunatic racist left is starting to lose. So, as is always the case, change the rules of the game, obfuscate, argue about definitions. Last night on MSNBC, professional liar Joy Reid yelled at Chris Rufo, the man responsible for exposing much of the explosion of critical race theory, that he didn't really know what he was talking about.
Let me respond at least once. I haven't gotten a full sentence out.
Because I'm not going to let you see. One of the things that, and I don't know, you probably never watched me on TV. Just, we didn't know who each other were, not so long ago. But I don't allow people to just make up and say lies on the show.
What I don't think is right is that forcing 8-year-olds in Cupertino, California to deconstruct their racial identities and then rank themselves according to 64% of Americans now know what critical race theory is.
No, they know what Christopher Rufo theory is.
Of which 58% of them
you made up your own thing, bro. You made up your own thing.
You see, she says critical race theory is not intersectionality. It's not whiteness studies. It's not white fragility. It's just stuff taught in law school. It's not a big deal, they tell us. Nobody is learning it in K through 12, you dummies. You're not really being taught racism by your HR department. Just listen to the first post-racial president.
You would think, with all the public policy debates that are taking place right now, that the Republican Party would be engaged in a significant debate. Lo and behold, the single most important issue to them apparently right now is critical race theory.
Yeah, but from Joy Reid to President Obama, what you're hearing is the fast-talking, sidestepping, stuttering that comes at the end of a long con. The mark, independent, non-Trump voting mainstream Americans who are finally waking up. And playing semantic games, arguing over the definition or the origination of critical race theory sounds like nothing more than, no, see, you don't understand. What had happened was, what I meant to say, this is the definition of critical race theory. Critical race theory is an academic discipline that holds that the United States is a nation founded on white supremacy and oppression, and that these forces are still at the root of our society. Critical race theorists believe that American institutions, such as the Constitution and legal system, preach freedom and equality, but are mere camouflages for a naked racial domination. Now, that's the definition from Chris Rufo, who knows a thing or two about this topic. But whether or not that's the working definition at Yale Law, or it's the downstream language and ideas that Western math is racist, as told to you by Seattle Public Schools, it doesn't matter. I don't care. We don't care. We know the values that lie underneath these definitions, and they are racist. We hear it when HR departments play word game associations where white men are connected to golf and NASCAR and country music. Okay, some of those may be true, but try playing that game with another race and see how it comes across. As racists, we know it when you pass bills in the name of equity that lower testing requirements because what? Black kids can't meet test standards? Racist. And we see it when places like the Washington Post ask us to join white accountability groups.
White people got to start getting together, specifically around race.
White accountability groups are really helpful in terms of having a place to process, having a group of people whose responsibility it is to call me on things or to challenge me.
Most of us in doing this work have experienced this, where there's a period of deep shame for being white and for acknowledging the harm that our ancestors have caused. And that's a very legitimate piece of this work.
White only affinity groups that are a lifelong project? What, you mean like Senator Sheldon Whitehouse's Beach Club? Like that kind of thing? Racist. Keep pushing people into their racial affinity groups. Keep telling us to identify with our race. And you know what will happen? Some white people will actually take you up on that, and guess what? You'll have more real, actual racists. But that's not the problem, I'm told. Just the other night on this program, I was told that individual racism and bigotry, that should not be our focus. Systemic racism, now that's the focus. That's what must be torn down.
All critical race theory is saying as a theory of law is that it's not about individual acts of bigotry or bias or racism. It is a systemic and institutional network that must be somehow discerned and dismantled.
Must be dismantled. So critical race theory, the legal doctrine, would tear down our laws and Constitution. Academics would tear down the values of Western civilization. HR departments would tear down our identity. Activists would tear down our history. Pop stars would tear down our flags and symbols. And teachers would indoctrinate our children.
I can't teach anything divisive. I can't teach critical race theory. And I can't teach about racial equity. After the show of last year, we really need to stand up and do what's right for our kids right now. So this is a call to action, teachers. We got to stand up and fight for our kids because this is.
But I thought critical race theory wasn't being taught in K through 12. I'm having a hard time keeping up with that teacher here now from Iowa. If you want to see real systemic racism in play, real racism, real unconstitutional legal theory, look no further than Joe Biden's COVID-19 restaurant revitalization program, where he prioritized money for restaurant owners who were black and, quote, preferences for Pakistanis, but not Afghans, Japanese, but not Iraqis, Hispanics, but not Middle Easterners. That law was struck down by the Sixth Circuit Court of Appeals of the United States as unconstitutional. It's grotesquely, openly, brazenly picking one race over another, and that is systemic racism. The lunatic left can pretend that critical race theory is just classroom discussion of race and racism, as the New York Times called it. But parents know better. They can play word games and haggle over the definition, but we know racism no matter what costume it wears. But as they run for the hills and run away from critical race theory, expect them to yell something familiar back over their shoulder, best encapsulated in a tweet from Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib, who said, opposition to critical race theory is obviously rooted in racism and has just become the newest dog whistle for racists. Of course.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.